welcome back to Cooking with Candace Nicole. Today I am making red beans and rice, which is a traditional Louisiana dish that is made traditionally on Mondays. Usually it's made with some baked chicken, cornbread, but today we're gonna make the red beans and rice, and I'm gonna share my recipe with you guys. So the very first thing that I am going to put into the pot, I have here a pound of smoked turkey sausage. Now, you don't have to use turkey sausage. You can use beef sausage, which is what I typically would normally use, but I'm trying to cook healthier for my family. So we got turkey sausage today. Has smoked turkey sausage, it's a pound. I just cut them in circles and that's it. And just dump it into the pot and let that cook. And while it is cooking, what I'm going to do is just add, this is my favorite seasoning really. I usually use it with everything. Sometimes I use Tony's just because Tony's has a little bit more spice. So if you want a little more spice, use Tony's. But I love Zatarain's because to me it's just enough spice. Like it's not overwhelming with spice. But I'm gonna season my smoked turkey sausage while it's cooking. And with that, it helps where you don't have to necessarily add too much seasoning while the beans are cooking. So I'm gonna let my sausage cook and get that going. So I'm gonna add just about a tablespoon of butter and put it into the pan just because I am doing turkey sausage. So turkey sausage, it doesn't have as much fat as if I was using beef sausage. So if you are using beef sausage, you won't, of course, need to add butter to it. But like I said, I'm using turkey sausage, so I need a little bit of grease up in there, a little bit of juice, so it can cook and not stick to the pot and not burn. But I'm just gonna keep letting this cook. Okay, so my sausage is done. I like mine to have a little bit of crispiness in it. And all I'm gonna do is just literally put it in a bowl and set it off to the side. Turn your fire down to low. And the next thing that I am going to do is I have 1/4 stick of butter. And I'm just gonna add the butter to the pan. Let that melt. And right here, I have my onion, I have my celery, my bell pepper, and garlic. I'm gonna add my onion, celery, bell pepper into the pot. I'm not gonna do my garlic right away because the garlic will burn. So you want to do those first. I'm gonna go ahead and add my onion, my celery, and my bell pepper. And then I'll add my garlic a little bit later. And I'm gonna let all of that cook down until it's translucent. And then once it's translucent, I will add my garlic, just because garlic doesn't take that long to really cook and get that flavor going. All right, so everything is cooked down, the onions, the bell pepper, the celery, and then what I'm going to add next, I'm gonna add the garlic. Give that a good stir and let that cook down with the onions, bell pepper, and celery. It's not gonna take long. It's literally gonna take maybe a good minute and a half for that garlic to cook. And while that is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and go get my my water, because you're gonna add water to your pot and then add your beans as well. Now I do want to show you guys my beans. So I soaked my beans overnight in water. I'm gonna show you an example. As you can see, like this bean has opened up. From firsthand experience, when you don't soak your beans, it won't be as soft as you want. Like it takes forever in a day to get the beans soft. Like you want your beans, your red beans, to be soft when you cook them and not hard. I hate hard beans. So please look, soak your beans overnight in water and they will let some of that starchiness out and it'll be much, much, much easier to cook. So now that my onion, garlic, and pepper is all cooked down, I'm gonna go ahead and add my beans to the pot. And I'm gonna go ahead and add some water as well to the pot. So I added my water to the beans. You wanna cover the beans with water. I turned my fire up to high. I'm gonna go ahead and give everything a good stir. I'm gonna add some Celery seasoning as well as some pepper. Onion powder and garlic. And I will include about how much I add to my pot as far as seasonings. Of course, it does vary how much you put in. It depends on your taste. And then I'm gonna add as well 1 bay leaf to my pot. Actually, you know what? And 1 more. I'm gonna add 2 bay leaves to my pot. And then I'm gonna stir everything. I have my fire on high and I'm gonna let this water come to a boil. Once the water comes to a boil, then I'm going to turn it down low, put a lid on, and let that simmer for about an hour, hour and a half, depending on how soft you like your beans. I like my beans super, super soft. So I'm going to let it simmer for about an hour and a half with the top on low, and come back to some goodness. So my beans have come to a boil and I'm gonna go ahead and turn down my fire to low and then put a lid on it and let it simmer for about an hour to an hour and a half. So guys, this is what my beans look like after cooking for about an hour. And I'm just gonna give it a good stir. And right now I'm going to go ahead and add my sausage into the pot. So I went ahead and added my smoked turkey sausage into the pot and I'm gonna stir it. And I am going to allow it to cook for like another 15-20 minutes. And then after that, once I let it cook for about 15-20 minutes, you see the beans on the side of the pot. What I'm gonna do is kind of smash them. And that is gonna, you see how I smashed it right there? And that is going to make the beans thicken up and not be so watery like it is. So my beans were cooking for about an hour and a half and this is how they look. Super, super yummy, nice and soft and tender like I like it. And what I am going to do next, I will add just a dash of salt in it. Just a little, because I do have sodium already in it with the Cajun seasoning. And then I am going to add just a ½ tablespoon of fresh chopped parsley. And I'm gonna go ahead and give that a good stir. And my beans are finished, guys. The fire is off. And this is really how I like my beans. What I'm going to do, a nice trick, if you added just a little bit too much water and you want to thicken your beans up, all you need to do, push these beans to the side of the pan or pot like that. And again. You see how that's smushed on the side right there? And what that does is release that starchiness from the beans, so that way it can soften up. And I like to do that with my beans. Just smash them just a little bit. And like I said, that helps thicken it up. So that's good. And this is about the consistency of my beans. You see the sausage, the seasonings, the parsley. And this is how my beans look after cooking for about an hour and a half. If you don't like your beans soft like how I like mine, you can cook it for about an hour and it'll still have some firmness to it. All right, so this is what my red beans and rice looks like. This is the final product for you guys. It's super delicious, flavorful, really, really good. I hope you guys enjoy, and I guarantee your family will definitely love this red beans and rice recipe, guys.